Hey, Paranormal Connection, this is George. So, this is going to be my first investigation video. We are currently here at the cemetery in Ogden, Utah. My name is George. I'm the creator of the Paranormal Connection. As I was saying earlier on the video that I've posted before, this is not my first investigation. I've done investigations before, but I want to take the time to introduce someone. She is my partner. She's also a very talented medium. I brought her here for a special investigation. Would you like to say something, Jay? And introduce yourself.
Okay. Let's see what's around here. Shall we?
Yes, perfect. Okay, so you guys, I just want to let you know that the reason that we have the flashlight is so that we don't fall over ourselves, or mainly me. Jay doesn't need it because she has her own talent. So she's actually able to feel where she's going. Now, as you can tell, what's coming from the lamp is actually a mist of water. The reason being is because the sprinklers are at full blast right now. The time here is about 12 minutes after midnight. And so that's the reason why we came. Today is the 2nd of October. And so, yeah, let's walk here a little bit. I wanted to show you some of the actual grave, the stones, the headstones that we have here. Let's see. Well, it serves no purpose for me to really read them. As you can see, these are real, and so I'm trying to be really careful not to step on them, just out of kindness and respect. I do, however, want to invite whoever is here to give them an opportunity to be able to communicate to us. We come here with nothing but respect and just honesty, so that you're able to communicate your thoughts and your feelings, maybe be able to relate to us how you passed away. Maybe if we're able to get some sort of assistance and maybe help you cross over, or at least guide you in the right direction for that, I would love to do that for you. Jay, feel free to tell me if you feel anything, if you see anything. I'll be more than happy to go that way and show. As you can see, it's really peaceful, really calm here. I'm sorry, say that again?
There's a lady who died in a car accident here.
So what?
She was killed on a freeway. I'm very confused.
So what Jay is saying, just in case the wind kind of blocked that, Jay just mentioned that there is a female. Do you know the age, Jay?
She's in her 20s.
Okay. So this individual, it looks like she passed away in her 20s at a young age. She died in a car collision.
She's a drunk driver.
Oh.
That was an old man.
A drunk driver was what hit her, and he was a senior citizen, is what it looks like.
She fought for her life for 7 days.
Oh wow. So what Jay is saying, again, I apologize for the wind, it's really windy and cold out here. What Jay is saying is that she didn't initially pass. It looks like what happened is that she tried to survive, and the survival lasted about 7 days. As each day passed, she began to get weaker and eventually died of her injuries. Do we know a name, Jay?
Her name is Katie.
Do we have an approximate age? We don't need to know the last name. We'll give that their privacy.
She's in her 20s.
Okay. So her name was Katie. Katie, I just want you to know that we're here so that you're able to communicate with Jay. Please, if you feel free to let us know anything you'd like us to know. I would love to tell your story the best that we can relay it. If you wish to make an appearance, I would really like to see that if you'd like. Again, we're here simply to allow people that have passed to relay us their story.
Katie was on her way home from work. She lost. She left behind the husband and a 3-year-old daughter.
So,
Her name was Rebecca.
she still lives?
Yes.
Okay.
She left them behind.
So, Jay just relayed to me that Katie told her that the incident happened on her way to her employment.
Home from work.
Oh, excuse me. She was leaving her employment and heading home to go to her family. A family who she left behind after she passed. A young 3-year-old daughter named Rebecca, you said? Yes, and her name was Rebecca, and her husband. They are survived.
Her husband's name is Matt.
Oh. So, Jay tells me that Katie is telling her that her husband's name is Matt, and her daughter is named Rebecca. They
She was
still
3 years old.
they are still alive. So they're survived she survived by the husband and the daughter, which is my condolences. I do know that is tragic. I'm sure you had a whole life to live. But we also understand that sometimes these situations do happen, and I feel that we might be in a much better place now than having to suffer what you'd suffered. So the way that the cemetery is intersected, there are actually roads, as you can see. This one is Martin Street with 17th Avenue. And so they're actually official roads. You can see down that way that ends, and there's a sign there, and then it crisscrosses around other areas of the cemetery. This cemetery has to be about 2 miles in radius, approximately. There are a lot of people that are buried here. We want to give those individuals the opportunity to be able to communicate with us. Now, for those of you at home that are watching, that especially those that have a power, an ability, a gift, if you will, just like Jay does. If you see something, please let us know in the comments. It would be really helpful. One of the things that Jay wanted to relay to me that I was wanting to talk to you about as well is that Jay has the ability of being able to see certain things, and then she will draw exactly what she gets to see. Even if we're not able to, some of us that don't have the ability. And so I will have a video uploaded after this in which she draws what she's able to see. And in those comments, I would really like it if you guys would, let us know. Let us know what you see. And if it matches exactly what Jay was able to see, once we will put the picture up. I want to remind you guys that we also have a TikTok channel. It's under the same name, The Paranormal Connection. You guys are invited to come out there and watch the videos, like them, follow us. There'll be much more content. Like I said, we're going to put a lot more content on the videos as we do more investigations up on the channel. So I'm going to stay quiet for a little while here and see if we can feel something. I won't turn off the light. I'll just point it away so that you guys are still able to see, because if I turn it off, you will not be able to see anything on that video. So, like I said, guys, remind me, if you guys, just a reminder, if you guys see something, please let me know in the comments. I don't have the abilities that Jay has, so I'm unable to see certain things, but we'll go from there. Just so that you guys know, earlier when we got here and we were getting out of the vehicle, both of us heard what it was, a distant crying or yelling. It sounded, I want to say female, but sometimes what we hear is not exactly what it really is. Let's remind everybody that spirits aren't the only things that are in these places. That there are differences between spirits, poltergeists, and, demonic presences. That's not something I'm looking forward to actually seeing, so I kindly ask for that not to happen. Again, we're here out of respect to give spirits an opportunity to be able to talk to us and relay their messages.
There's a guy named Roy I'm communicating with right now.
Jay says that there's a gentleman by the name of Roy who is actually communicating with her.
He passed away from a heart attack at 73 years old.
She says that he passed away from a heart attack at the age of 73. That actually hits home because that's my father's age. And as we know, those that have loved ones that are seniors, parents, uncles, whatnot.
I had 3 children.
Roy says that he had 3 children.
1 boy and 2 girls.
A male and 2 females.
Roy lost his daughter to a drowning at a very young age.
So one of the daughters of Roy, at a very young age, died or passed away out of a drowning.
At a canal.
Oh, in the canal? Was that here in Utah?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we know what waters those were?
No.
Okay. So you don't know where that was?
Roy is searching for his daughter.
So he's looking for his past daughter?
See?
Is that what's keeping him here?
Yes.
So it looks like what Roy is communicating to Jay is that the purpose of him being still on this earth is because he searches for his daughter who died when she was very young.
Roy says it's his fault.
It's his fault. He says it's his fault because she passed.
Roy was drinking a beer and he wasn't paying attention to her.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll relay that, Jay. So what Jay is saying, Roy is riddled with guilt because he was intoxicated at the time that his daughter was swimming in the lake, did not realize that she was struggling, and then eventually drowned, had consumed enough water that filled her lungs and must have gotten weak and then passed.
She was already gone before he realized that she was gone. He tried to revive her. She was already gone.
So what Jay is saying, so that you guys can hear us, is that Roy found out that she had drowned. By the time he had found out, he tried to resuscitate her to no avail, because by the time that he was able to reach her, her lungs had already filled with water, and it was too late.
He lost his wife and his kids that same day.
So the other two as well?
The wife blames him, and she took the kids.
Okay. So because of the incident that had occurred, meaning that the young little girl drowned because of the negligence of the father, the wife blamed him for what occurred. And that same day that it happened, that he lost his daughter, grabbed the other two children and left Roy alone.
Roy's daughter name was Rose.
The one that passed, baby. So the late baby girl that died, that drowned, her name was Rose.
They named her Rose after a pink rose bush that they had in their front yard.
Jay says that the reason that they named the baby girl Rose, it was after a rose bush that was in the center of the front yard. I'm assuming by the window where they could see it.
It was by the driveway.
Oh, by the driveway. Okay. So that's the story so far, you guys. Roy has given us an opportunity to be able to speak to him. I hear bells, Jay. It rang twice. I'm hoping you guys were able to pick that up. I just heard 2 bells ring. Again, it could be that it's windy, but we've only heard it once. So that is quite interesting.
Roy says Rose was 7.
Say that one more time.
Roy says Rose was 7.
So when the incident happened, when Rose drowned, she was only the age of 7, a young, tender age, and was under the supervision of the father, who is Roy. But sadly, because he was intoxicated. Well, there's that bell again, Jay. Only this time it rang once.
I heard that.
Say again?
I've heard that.
Yeah. That's interesting. The wind's kind of died down. So the sprinklers on the side as where we got here turned off, and then just as the sprinklers turned off, the wind died down. You know, I'm hearing it at the distance again, and it's starting to sound like a flagpole.
It is starting to sound like a flagpole.
Not a bell. Like the chain that's on the flag hitting the pole itself. But what I don't understand is how we didn't hear it earlier and now we are hearing it. And the wind still has been consistent. Just so that you guys are aware, here in Utah, the next 3 days is supposed to be storming, which it has. It started yesterday, and it's been very cloudy, very rainy, and the temperatures have dropped significantly.
I'd like to say, when we got here, there was something hitting the car.
On the window or the door?
On the back of the car.
Oh, trying to get your attention, Jay?
And then it started to scrape the side of the car. And then it was staring at me from the other side of my door. And I will draw her.
Oh, it's a female.
She is not human, and she never was.
So she was a demonic presence? Would you say that on it? I mean,
Yes,
okay.
she's been following us this whole time.
Oh. Is she curious about us, or is she angry because we're here?
She's curious.
Okay. Is there an identity to this being? Perhaps a name? Yeah, you can clearly feel the temperature dropping here.
Volika.
I'm sorry, repeat that again?
Volika.
Oh. So, I'm not sure if you guys were able to hear that. I'm going to relay it to you so that you're aware. We arrived here as 20 minutes ago before I started the video, and I was outside filming an introductory video which I will post on the page as well, so that you can know a little bit about my introduction. But Jay said, as I was filming the video on the outside of the vehicle, she says that there was a being. We're just going to call it that because that's what it was. She said that it wasn't human, it never was, but it portrays itself as a female. Now, Jay said that when she was in the vehicle, this being was scraping up against the car and tapping against the window, and it stared directly at her. Now, I asked Jay if she could identify this being, and she said yes. Her name is Valika, is her name. Well, that's what she... Say that again, Jay? Valika, excuse me. Now, the reason that she's drawn here is because she's curious of who we are and what we're doing here. Now, Jay's gotten ahead of me a little bit over there, as you can see. The reason that she goes that way is because clearly something has drawn her attention. Right there is my vehicle, and that's where she said that she first came in contact of what she identified. Now, when we first got here, Jay did say that she will be able to draw what exactly it is that she saw, which is, I'm assuming, this creature. Now, this is my vehicle, and she's saying that it was scraping up against the car. So let's see if there's actually anything that we might be able to find. I'm not seeing any physical damage. Other than that, that was just a little damage that I actually did. But I'm not seeing anything here. So, it could be that this thing can touch it, but not physically cause the damage to it. Or it just wasn't the intent. It was just to grab attention. So, let's follow Jay. She's actually way over there. So let's walk this way and find out exactly what else she can see. Again, you guys, please, I remind you, like and subscribe. It really helps me support this channel. later on this month, I'm planning on putting a Patreon, and you guys can really help me with donating, because that will help me be able to produce more of this content. My intention is to travel the state of Utah. Now, I don't know if some of you who live out in Utah have heard of the Ogden train station, which happens to be haunted. There's also Asylum 49, which is in Tooele, Utah, which is extremely haunted. There's other locations. There's even a mansion out here in the center of Salt Lake City that is also haunted. So I do plan on visiting these places and also do investigations there and see if we're able to pick up anything. Let's check here with Jay. And again, I will create a Patreon. Hopefully, if you guys can help us, we'll be creating more content. This is just the first of many that we're going to be doing, especially for the month of October. I'm not entirely sure how often we're going to be uploading, but I'm hoping that we will be able to do it more often than not. Are you feeling okay, Jay?
Grant was 19 years old.
She
was
just
killed in the military in action.
So Jay just said that there's a gentleman by the name of Grant. He was 19 years old and served in our military, in the American military, and he died. He was killed in action. Do we know what war?
No.
Okay. So we're not...
And 2 guys were sent on a mission.
So what she said was Grant and 2 other soldiers were sent on a mission by commanding officers. That's interesting, Jay. I don't hear that pole anymore, or the bell, and the wind is still blowing the same. Do you hear the
They
bell?
all died.
All 3 of them died in this mission?
Correct.
Okay.
Grant was an only child.
So Jay is saying that the soldier by the name of Grant, he was an only child, did not have any siblings, and yet he was called for service, or did he volunteer?
He volunteered.
He volunteered for service.
He wanted to make his dad proud.
Oh, so it was pride to make his dad be proud of him being an American soldier. And so, being an only child, he joined the military to have a military career.
Grant never made it to war.
So
he was killed in training.
Oh, I see. So it was not a secret mission or some sort of mission that was for a certain project. He was in training, and all 3 of the soldiers that were training all perished in this mission, in this training mission.
He froze to death.
Was he in water? Is that why he froze to death? Or was it the elements?
He said it was -4 degrees outside.
Oh, it was 40 degrees outside.
-4 degrees outside.
Oh, excuse me, it was -4 degrees outside. Wow, that's, yeah, so he froze by the elements. Jay. We need to cut this. Did you hear me? Look at me. We have a patrol. Over here, behind me. He just turned his lights on in that direction.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so we don't want to violate any rules or laws here. We are exactly visiting. And I just saw a patrol officer out here checking out the property. So we're going to cut this investigation short. But please like and follow. Subscribe to my channel. We're going to bring a lot more content to this channel and bring you more stuff. And like I said, Jay is really, really talented. She has the ability that some of us just don't. So as we bring you more stuff, it'll be a little bit more sophisticated. So thank you guys. We really appreciate you. Give us likes and follows and we'll go from there.